This is Bill, Let's Mow and Fab, back out in the garage today. Hey, if you get a second, click that subscribe button. Cost you nothing, but it'll help my channel out. I'm out here messing around today, working on the 57. I got a broom handle stuck up here to keep my hood open. I'm having problems. I put new hood springs down here on the hood hinges, and still when I open the hood, it just wants to close itself nice and easy. So I'm figuring the next thing to look at is the hinges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these hinges off, and the hinges have I've got one of the springs over here taken off. I pulled it out already, and I'll show you in a second. But they've got all these rivets. They got like a rivet here, they got a rivet down here, they got a rivet here. All of the pivot points have rivets. They got rivets up here, 2 rivets. All the pivot points have rivets. And I think what happens is when these hinges get real loose and the rivets get really worn out, there's no resistance whatsoever to help hold the hood up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this hinge out. They're kind of a pain in the butt because there's 2 bolts here that go from the inside, and then there's one that holds it on from the outside. So I'm going to have to sneak up under the dash and get to those 2 bolts and pull those 2 bolts out. Then I'll pull this one out, then I'll take the 2 bolts here off the hood, and I'll have the hinge. And also this bolt here, this has got like a little fender catch. I don't know if that's just to provide a little extra stability for the hinge, but it's got a little catch. So what I did to take the spring off, and let me walk over here and take a look at this, is I just took a piece of chain, okay, with one of these little clips. You can use the little carabiners, you can use whatever you want. So all I did is I took this and I ran this in here and I hooked this to the bottom of the spring, and then I just threw all the extra chain back there, and I just took my hand and pulled that way towards the firewall, and the spring pops right off. You can see that, try to get this chain in here without tearing up my paint on everything. You can see this spring, it's just got a little hook on the bottom of it, and it just hooks into this little hook right here. There's not much there. It's just a little tiny hook area. So, and then to put it back on, you do the same thing. You just hook that thing in there, pull down on it towards the firewall, and latch that thing in there. And with the hood all the way up, that's as close as that mechanism is going to get together. So that's what you got to do. You got to get your hood up, prop it all the way up in the air, and then go ahead and take that loose. So I'm going to get down under the dash and see how much of a pain in the butt it is to get to those 2 bolts, and I'm going to find those suckers and take them out. So I'll be back. Alrighty, I got it out. Last bolt that I took out was this top one here from the outside. I took out the 2 insides. I took out this bolt. I loosened this bolt and loosened this bolt. Put a block of wood right here under the edge of the hood just to hold it up in the air, and I've got it out. So this is a pivot point here, 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 here. These are all your pivot points, and if you look at these are just rivets. They're just rolled over rivets. These here, same thing on the other side over here. They're just little rivets. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing, I'm going to grab a hammer, and I'm going to set these down on something flat, maybe on my vise, maybe over here on the top of my vise, maybe something like this on the top of my vise. I'm just going to find a good flat hard spot, and I'm going to just hit these rivets. I'm going to just tighten these things up a little bit of play in this. I can sit here and move this back and forth, and it moves this way. A little bit of play in this back rivet seems excessive. This rivet, this one here, these 2, I don't know, they feel pretty tight. Maybe I won't do a whole lot. I don't want to tighten this thing up so tight that the hood doesn't want to close, but I definitely want to snug it down a little bit. So I'm going to get a hammer and give it a few hits. So I'll be back. Okay, so all I did is peen these over a little bit. I took a little punched into a couple of them. This one was pretty tight, so I didn't really mess with it much. This one here, gave it a couple good little cracks with a hammer, and just tighten this whole thing up. Before, I could pick up on this where it bolted to the hood, and I could pick it up and I could sit here and do this, move this whole assembly kind of up and down where it had some movement to it. Now it's all nice and snugged up. It does still move. You can still move it, so it's not like it's seized up. I may have to pull the other one off. I'm going to check this one. I'm going to put this one back on and just check and see how much it's helped just doing the one side. If I can get away with just doing the one side, I'll stick with it. If not, I'll pull the other one off and I'll do the same thing to the other one. But this, in a nutshell, is, if you can see, I kind of peened that one over a little. That one I just gave a couple good cracks. And this one here, you can see where I used the punch. I'll see how this works, but when I just tried to hammer down on these, I noticed that these edges kind of flared out, but the whole rivet didn't want to tighten a lot. So I went ahead and just put a punch on here and just hit them with a punch. Figured I could see if I could mushroom that just a little bit. Seems to have worked. Like I said, when I take the assembly now, I cannot rock this assembly back and forth. It did have play between this plate and between the side that bolts to the hood. You could actually just move it back and forth sideways and wiggle it. So all that's gone. So I'm going to pop this thing back in and see what it does. See if it helped me any. If not, I'll probably move to the other side. And if that doesn't work, we all know what the next step is, right? New hood hinges, which I didn't really want to go there, but I may end up doing it. Just figured I'd give this a shot. Seen it on a few other sites. I'll be back. All right, well, I got it back in. I went ahead and put the bolt on the outside that you can see there on the top. And then I went and put the other bolts, and I just lined it up with my little mark. I made a mark with a Sharpie, you can see there. And then I put this fender bolt on, and then I went ahead and put the spring back on. And all you do to put the spring back on again is I hooked it through this hook here. This is just a hole that it goes in, and then down here on the bottom there's just a loop. And so again, I took that chain, took that little link, pushed it underneath there, and then all you do is just push down on the chain and hold the spring and just get it clipped on. And then as soon as you get it clipped on the end, it pushes right in. Not real rough to do. Takes a few minutes playing around with it. The hood is definitely a lot better. I can drop it and I can pick it back up, and it does definitely want to stay in place better than it did. I kind of think I'm going to pull the other one off over here on the passenger side, and I'm going to do the same thing. I just kind of think it's better, but not great. And with the brand new springs, I really think it should be better. It's not wanting to fall down, but if I kind of pull it and kind of let it go and help it, it'll kind of want to fall. So I don't know. I think I'm going to pull the other side off and do the other side. So I'll take a Sharpie and I'll mark it. I'll do the same exact thing. But if you're having problems with your, not just a Tri-5, but any classic car hood, you know, not wanting to stay up, like I said, I bought springs first because I looked around on the internet. Everybody said springs, that the springs get weak. I still have the other set of springs. Don't know that they were really weak, but I bought another set, so put those on there and it wasn't any better. So it was really weird. So then I just kind of started looking around, and they said, oh, you got to replace the hinges. And then I saw a couple people online that talked about doing this, is just you know, just dimpling the rivets and just tightening them up a little bit, and you know, it just puts a little interference on the hinge, and I think that's all the hood needs sometimes, is just a little interference to make it work. So that's about all I got. That's my hood tip of the day. Worked pretty good. If you get a minute, click that subscribe button for me. Like I said, it doesn't cost you anything and really helps my channel. I hope everybody's having a great day, and I hope all's well in your world. You guys have a great day. Blitz out.